Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with a new reaction to Allinwithari. She uploaded an hour ago and I got through about 5 minutes of her video and I decided I want to react to it. Now, obviously if I get further into it and I don't feel like this is a fruitful video, then you guys won't be seeing it. But I figured that giving it a good old reaction would be good. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so this video is titled, "What's Been Going On? Saying Goodbye to YouTube?" ? So she's obviously trying to drive some views to her channel, and it seems to have worked because it has 5,500 views in an hour. And it has 31 dislikes to 619 likes, and it's 25 minutes. Now, a quick disclaimer, when I do these reactions, I usually put the video that I'm reacting to at 1.25 or 1.5 times speed, just because I value your all's time, and I know that sitting here for an hour for a reaction is not always the best thing. So I do try to speed up the video at least to help a little bit. But this video is 25 minutes, so we're gonna try to get through all of it and see what she has to say.
What you doing, watermelons? So I have a lot to show you guys. So first off, I'm gonna eat because I'm starving. Well, I'm gonna get my food ready to eat. I wanted to show you guys what I get. I get this a lot because...
Did you hear that? She's starving. She is starving. First things first. Now, let's just get right into the obvious point that I'm about to make. For her to be in the situation that she is in, she already has a lot that a typical homeless person would not have, including a car, including money, including extra money for things like shopping hauls, headbands, expensive coffee, and a vegetarian pizza that she's going to show us how she makes. And let's not forget the most important part, money to stay at luxury hotels and order herself her vape cartridge refills, pay for her weed habit that she has. And hey, I'm not here to shame or shade anyone that uses a vape or, does their little thing on the side. Don't care. But if you are grifting online and you are gloating about very expensive habits that you have, and she has several, that's where it becomes a point of conversation. And she is using homelessness as a way to make money to pay for things that 99% of homeless people wouldn't dream of paying for because they need their money to last them. I said in another video, I guarantee if you asked 50 homeless people that are actually homeless, would you rather have a $10 Starbucks drink, or would you rather have that $10 and spend it on 8 or 9 cups of coffee from McDonald's or a convenience store? I guarantee you they are going to want that $10 to last them for over a week for coffee every morning instead of a $10, mochaccino, espresso, or whatever the fuck she orders.
It's delicious to me. It's the Veggie Lovers Pizza. I'm sure you guys have seen it on my story or shorts or whatever. But it is vegan, and it's just a little tiny mini pizza full of veggies, and it's delicious. And I just pop it in my little cooker. It has one of those, I'll show you what it looks like, just a little frozen pizza.
I like how now all of a sudden she's using this cooker that she mentioned in like her very first video, where other times we've seen her getting carry out, she's not cooking in her car on a normal basis, and now all of a sudden she's utilizing her little cooker and she's, showing this small pizza and she's starving. Guys, like, I don't know who's believing this at this point. I don't know.
It has one of those like microwavable, that part. So I just rip up the box and I use that as the plate. Because I did it without the plate one time and it just made a mess. There were crumbs everywhere. I'll show you guys. I'm like so not gentle with opening things. Like, I don't know if any of you guys vape.
Seems like you're not very gentle with anything based off of official court documents that have come out, including your infant son.
But I have a stizzy, and so I'm always getting the vape cartridges. And there's like a special way to open the box. Like, it comes in this nice little fancy box, right? And you're supposed to like push and pull, and it's like all set in there like nice and pretty and stuff. But I don't. I rip it open just like I do this. Like, and I'm just gonna lay this.
That is such an expensive habit. So based off of just prices online, because I don't want to make it state specific, it's probably a little higher in California. But using an estimate, it's $50 per cartridge. And I realize that these cartridges probably last, you know, for her, maybe she stretches them for a week or 2 weeks, or I don't know, whatever. But $50, that's literally a tank of gas. That's a night in a motel for some people. And she's sitting here just like, this is not someone who is surviving. This is someone who is using homelessness in order to drive traffic to her channel so that her videos perform as well as her first one did. And she's utilizing sad fishing and grifting and not, addressing things that have come out about her that are fact-based. And I know that not everyone is going to like you, and not everyone's going to care for your content or your character or your personality or the way you look. Totally get that. But with her, there have been very specific things that have come out that should be addressed, and they continue to be ignored while we get this trash content where she's talking about buying $50 vape pods and using her little microwave thing, cooker contraption that she hasn't talked about in weeks.
I guess I could be using my thing here. I really don't use this as much as you would think. Open it and set it right on in there. But the sucky thing is that it's going to take like 45 minutes to an hour to cook. And I'm hungry now. I did just have a protein bar. The usual, no cows. I got the peanut butter chocolate chip. I actually like these way better than the birthday cake ones, but they're always sold out. Target is always sold out, so I get lucky if I get this flavor. So I was stoked.
This is just so funny. She is, she's like a bougie homeless person. If that even exists, that is what Ronnie is. And it's just so ridiculous to me. If you think about things like protein bars, pizzas, like things that someone might survive off of, most people are not buying these, snob kebab, protein bars and fancy pizzas. Most people are eating what they need to get by. But she had a little taste of that YouTube income based off of her hitting the trajectory and going viral. And she has turned this into a bougie homeless person that once in a while stays in 5-star hotels that are $300 a night and runs from her past and calls everyone haters. That is her presence.
I want to tell you guys about my day. It's been pretty interesting. I feel like whenever I record, a lot of the times my hair is like in the process of drying. I record a lot whenever I get out of the shower or leave the gym. I don't know why, it's just like become a thing, but that's why
Who fucking cares? Address the things that people have been asking you about. If Ronnie wants to save her any chance of her YouTube channel and her presence making it through this, she needs to address the actual concerns, stop feeding out garbage, nonsensical content, and talk about the things that have been uncovered. Talk about at a surface level, take accountability and talk about what happened with your child. If it's all BS lies, then say it's all BS lies and show your proof as to why it's, all BS lies. I am here for people showing proof, people showing evidence. If you're going to make a really, really serious claim, then just show the proof. And if that really serious claim is nonsense to you, then show your side, show your proof to disprove what the other person said. Like, I just don't understand who is continuing to be fed off a spoon by Ronnie. This is ridiculous at this point.
Hair looks the way it is. It's just half wet. As you guys know, obviously I haven't been posting as much. Honestly, I just haven't been feeling it. The negativity and the hate and stuff I'm not gonna lie, it kind of got to me.
Hate, negativity, haters, mean people online. Let's just take the very small percentage that might be being mean to her, take them out of the equation, ignore them. Let's talk about all of the subscribers who decided to give her a shot, follow her on this journey, had some questions along the way. They were ignored. There were more concerns that came up. Those were ignored, while we get to hear about headbands and her vape habit. This is disgusting.
A little bit, like, it just kind of put me in this funk. Like, I was starting to lose motivation to even make videos. I wasn't even really seeing the negative. I just knew it was out there, and I knew it was heavy based off of what my supporters have told me. It bummed.
Your supporters are also asking really important questions that you're choosing to ignore. And the more that you, if you have a large part of your audience asking the same questions and you go days and days and days and weeks without addressing those, then people are going to start to believe what facts have been presented, and they're going to come to their own conclusions. She could have gotten ahead of this. She could have taken accountability. She could have given her side of the story and kept it moving. People would have had more understanding as to what's going on. Why is she like this? Why does she say this? Why does she not talk about this a whole lot? And things could have proceeded from there. But instead, she decided to deflect, and just like every other YouTuber and influencer, everyone's just a hater. They're negative. They're miserable with their lives. They have nothing else to do. They need hobbies. And I get it. Some people online might need a hobby, but for the most part, what I've seen with Ronnie is people very concerned and very upset as to how she is exploiting homelessness and running away from facts that have been presented, and she has not shown her side of the argument. She has run away like an immature little girl. And here she is continuing to produce garbage content.
Me out because there's just so many lies and untruth going on. But
okay, if it's lies and untruth, show the evidence, show the truth, disprove the lies, disprove the things that are not true. You can't just say that, everyone's a hater, everyone's lying, and not do anything to show that it's a lie. Because when we're going off of official court documents that have witnesses and, people with CPS involved giving their statements, doctors, nurses, ER staff, all of those people couldn't have been conspiring against Ronnie. I am pretty sure that they have better things to do during the day than to worry about her and her, alleged mistreatment of her child that she tried to conceal as allergies, and then admitted that the child fell off a bed, and we know, the rest of the story from there.
I had to sit with it for a little while before I realized that it is what it is. It's going to happen, and I think I'm at a point now where I just fully accept it, and I'm going to have to just, I'm just gonna have to pray for the people that are putting out so much hate. Okay, so I gotta tell you about today. I've got my motivation back. No, you don't pray for people that are putting out hate. People are not
for the most part, they are not putting out hate. And I don't want to blanket statement that, but I do want to say that a large percentage of what I've seen personally, both in comment sections and in videos, it is not just people hating for no reason. If people were hating for no reason, they would, come on and be like, oh, look at this stupid girl. She's, dressing all stupid and, what an idiot. I can't stand her voice. Like, those are people just being salty. We're talking about actual concerns, actual things that should be addressed before you continue to collect a penny off the back of homelessness. Ronnie is an exploiter. We have seen, based on her pattern so far, she likes those views. She wants to keep this going. But until you're transparent, people are going to continue sharing their opinions. Own up to it, face the music before you try to continue, because guess what? It's not a bunch of haters. People reacting to public information regarding the neglect of a child is not hating, period.
My oomph back, my drive, my love for what I do, I got it back. I feel it. Sometimes people get in these little funks where they lose motivation. But anyways, that's over with.
Or they don't lose motivation and they just decide to run from the truth and call everyone haters and trolls. Typical YouTuber 101, how to deflect the haters. They all they're a bunch of haters, guys. I need to pray for them. You don't need to pray for anyone but your child, whom I'm sure is going to be extremely confused here in a few years when he puts 2 and 2 together.
I'm back. And today definitely helped. So yesterday, I got to help a lady that tremendously lifted my spirits. Like, I was so happy. I was so fulfilled. And this is kind of weird to say, but it made me crave more. It's making me want to do more. Like, right now I'm actually looking into volunteering at like shelters or soup kitchens or...
How funny. Ari, or Ronnie, who doesn't listen to the haters. She just knows that it's out there. But I literally, and so many other people have said this too, so I'm not trying to take sole credit for it, but so many people have been saying, go work at a food bank, go work at a shelter. You've quit your full-time job to be a YouTuber. You're making all this money off hashtag homelessness, hashtag invisible people, and you're not doing shit all day. You're not giving people content. So why don't you spend your time and go to a food bank, go to a homeless shelter, go to a women's shelter, go to a DV shelter where women and their children are, seeking safe living conditions from a crazy spouse or whatever. Why don't you do something productive? And now all of a sudden you want to talk about, oh, I have the drive, guys. I have the drive. I am just so hungry and I'm starving to help more people. I want to give away blankets and cry some more.
Something along those lines. My lips are super chapped. Hold on. It's amazing that I don't have to go into an office every day to a job that I'm not happy at. But also it's like, okay, I have all this like free time and nothing really driving me through the day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I've always been a very, very hard worker. I've had a job ever since I was 17.
Really? A hard worker? So you thought that you were just going to quit your job and roll around in your car all day spreading hashtag homelessness and collect money off of subscribers that felt really bad for you while you run from your past and call everyone a bunch of haters and spend money on Starbucks? That's not someone who seems like a really hard worker to me, because people who work really hard, they don't just up and quit their job when they go viral on YouTube for a couple weeks. That's not someone who's a hard worker. That's someone who saw dollar signs and decided to continue exploiting what they went viral off of, and then didn't know how to face the music, and she didn't think that people would put 2 and 2 together, figure out that she is not Allinwithari. She is Ronnie, who has a very colorful history that she does not want to address.
And growing up, I've had multiple jobs at one time. I usually had like 2 or 3 jobs. I've done everything from working at a grocery store, bartending, serving, working in department.
Well, working at a grocery store, you poor thing. You poor thing. Imagine what a rough beginning, having to work at a grocery store. Can you imagine? You're not going to get a Medal of Honor for working in a grocery store. Do you know how many people start working at a grocery store? Do you know how many people start to they start their employment by doing things that are outside, like construction, roofing, anything. Like, you work at a grocery store, get over it. You don't need a pat on the back for that, Ronnie.
Serving, working in department stores. Like, I've had so many different jobs. I've just always been a hard worker. So for me not to have a job, like, what do I do? So that free time is going to be spent giving back. And
I don't believe a word she says. Now, this is my thing with YouTubers is once trust is broken, and this might just be me being a hard-nosed evil bitch, I don't care. Once you break your trust with me, it's not going to come back for a very long time. And I don't trust a word she says. I don't trust she could literally say the grass is green and I'm going to call it into question. Even though I know the grass is usually green, if it comes from her, it's a nonsense lie. But that's just the way that I look at it. Now, when it comes to her saying, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm going to do that, oh, I'm doing this, that, I just don't believe her. I think that now she's trying to appease the few people that are still listening to her garbage. And that's her way of trying to say, oh, look at all the great things that I'm doing. I gave this lady a blanket and we shed some tears over it. I told, my entire YouTube channel how terrible her skin looked, even though she literally lives outside, and I did not give her any shade, any sunscreen, no hat, no nothing. I gave her a, blanket that was collecting dust in my trunk in the middle of a heat wave in LA. And I should get a pat on the back, and I'm going to continue to do service work because I'm just such a gracious presence on this platform, and I need to tell everybody about my good deeds. I don't believe a word she says.
That's what I've been doing. It is so fulfilling. Like, I'm not bashing anybody who works a 9 to 5. I actually applaud you for doing that. It's just not for me. Anyways, let me get back to see.
Oh, she's applauding people that work a 9 to 5. Well, thank you, Ari. Thank you for applauding people that work a 9 to 5. Everybody needs your, appreciation and pat on the back. Please.
You see, I lose my train of thought all the time. Where was I going with that? Shit. Oh, okay, so before I got my little spark back,
maybe you need to slow down on vaping down all those cartridges, because it seems like her trains of thought are just chaotic.
I was getting into like this little funk, not like depression at all by any means, but when you sit in your car, when you live in your car, it is very easy to kind of get in this stagnant mindset, because it's not like a house where you're walking around and doing stuff. You have time to think, and that can be dangerous sometimes. You just sit here. If I'm not actively doing something, I'm sitting in my car. Whether I'm driving, I'm relaxing, recording, whatever, a lot of the time I'm in my car, and so that does take a toll on you mentally. I've mentioned like the knots that I get in my body, like in my shoulders and in my legs and glutes and stuff, and I've noticed that it's gotten worse, and just all around.
Well, she has knots. Well, I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad for people that are truly homeless, that are sleeping on park benches or literally on the ground underneath of a tree because they know that it's going to rain overnight, so they're trying to stay dry, or they're sleeping on the concrete in a parking garage. They're really out there being exposed to the elements. They're really trying to literally just survive. And then you have someone here like Ari, who is making great money on YouTube by, again, exploiting hashtag homelessness, hashtag invisible people, and sad fishing all the way to the bank. I don't feel bad for her at all. You have some knots, go pay for a masseuse. You have the money. Why didn't you get a massage over there at the hotel in downtown LA that you stayed at?
Not being active will kind of put you in a depressive state. It had been about a week or so since I've been physically active. Like I've just kind of been just no motivation to get out. Like I don't know if it's because like this past week has been like extra hot, so there's just people everywhere, like by the beach, and like when there's a whole lot of people, I don't want to get out and like do stuff. Like that's just me. I don't like big crowds, and especially right now, I'm not even gonna lie, like with everything going on right now, the hate and the BS going on about me, that's kind of another reason I don't want to be around people, is because I don't want to be noticed. As funny as that sounds, like I don't want to be seen like, oh, that's that girl that everyone thinks is.
I think she's very nervous that she has put out a really dangerous persona. People are not happy with her. I think that she is scared for her safety. And I actually came across a video, one of y'all sent it to me, and this guy was not happy with Ari. I don't know who he is. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know anything about him, but he wasn't happy with her. And these are the kinds of things that happen when you come onto a platform and you create mess and you exploit and you lie and you grift and you sadfish and then you call people haters. There are gonna be people that really get fired up over people like that. And he was one of them. And I don't remember if he was in Southern California or where he was, but he was livid pissed. So I don't know. You could have gotten ahead of this. Not saying I ever condone anyone going real life, but you could have also gotten ahead of it. Face the music when it comes out. If it's all just this big lie, then it should be very easy to prove that it's a lie, period. And she, instead of doing that, ignored it and made trash, nonsensical content.
A scammer, blah, blah, like, you know, for all I know, people might not even think that. That might just be me in my own head, but so I haven't really wanted to be like out in the public eye very much. So whenever I'd go to the grocery store, like on the other end of town, and every time I'd go in and I'd come out, I'm always like in a hat and big sunglasses and hoping that nobody like notices me. So this morning, I'm thinking, all right, I'm feeling okay mentally. I'm cool. I'm content. But my knots and everything were like really starting to ache. And I'm like, all right, I've got to get moving. I have to get some exercise. I'm going to end up putting myself into a depression if I don't just stay active. I've got to stay active. So I took a scoop of pre-workout and I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. And I actually drove by this path that leads down to...
Just to finish out my thoughts on this entire kind of how her making this like homelessness aesthetic that she's trying to do and that she has done based on her content. Let's talk about like pre-workouts and, you know, workout supplements and all this kind of stuff. She has a ton of expenses considering that she is literally grifting and using hashtag homelessness. Name me a homeless person that is out here buying pre-workouts and fancy protein bars. I'll wait.
A beach area that I actually haven't been to yet. Like last minute, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to go here because it's wide open. There's not very many people down there. It's beautiful. The weather's perfect. And it beats going to a gym where there's a ton of people. I went for a little jog, nice walk down to the beach. I saw a seal like right there on the beach. Like he was playing like right there on the sand. I got clips of him. He was the cutest. I was smiling from ear to ear. I was so happy. Like he made my morning. And then I passed by a man who was just as like in awe with the seal, and he was walking his little dog, and he was just so friendly. He kept smiling at me, and he was like, we were joking because the seal was like seriously posing for our pictures, for our cameras, and we were just getting a kick out of it. that was definitely an awesome experience, and that alone, like right then, my spirits were lifted. I was like, all right, cool, like this is gonna be a good day. So I spent maybe like, I don't know, probably about like an hour out there just soaking it in. The water was just crystal blue. It was a very clean beach, and it was just gorgeous and serene. On my way back, I hear something, and I had my earbuds in, and I turn around, and it's this guy, and he stopped me, and he's like, I know you, I watch your channel. No. That's a great first reaction, you know. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, is he like a supporter or is he a hater? There's no telling what this person's gonna say. It's gonna be something positive or it's gonna be negative. I'm just like, hi. hi. And he turned out to be such a beautiful soul. I'm so glad that I met him and ran into him, which is really ironic because I went to that beach to avoid anybody noticing me. And of course, somebody randomly notices me. And I'm like, wow, what are the odds? But I was like in a very secluded.
I don't believe her. Again, this goes back to the trust thing. I don't think that someone approached her and like praised her for all the great things that she's doing on her channel. I don't believe it, but that's just me.
Area. So to be noticed didn't even like cross my mind. He like went on about my videos and he was like, I've seen this one, I've seen this one, I've seen this one. And so
I love all your grifting so much. You're so inspirational.
essentially he's seen like all of my videos. I was just so humbled. I couldn't stop smiling. Like this guy, like he was so full of life and he was so happy. He just seemed like so inspired. And he told me that he too is living out of his car. Now it's just for like, I think a month is what he said.
Oh, really? What a fucking convenience. I didn't believe it before. Now I really don't believe it. Really, someone who knows who you are, watches your channel, and also is living out of his car? No.
It's just a temporary thing because he's moving. But he's saving up for a van as well, and he's going to do the van life. And he also has a family who doesn't necessarily support. He told me that he's loving life, and he's like, you know, it's really not that hard. He's like, I saw your channel, and I figured if you could do it, then I can do it. And I was like, that is amazing. Like, I'm not out here trying to make...
By saying living out of your car is, quote, not that hard, well, yeah, because real homeless people that are out here surviving, they're not living in their car and able to use the heat and the AC and you know, literally like recline their seat back and use blankets and shop at Target and, you know, have blinds for privacy. Most of these people are out there in the weather. They're exposed. They're lucky if they have some sort of shade or something to cover them. People that are actually homeless, this is not some kind of aesthetic for social media. Ew. Ronnie needs to pull herself together. She really needs to do it quickly because as I continue to watch more and more videos of her, my fuse is getting shorter and shorter with the shit that comes out of her mouth. And frankly, at this point, it makes my blood boil listening to her BS nonsense that she just sprinkles in every single video so heavily.
Or persuade people to live in their cars. But I do want people to enjoy their lives, and that for him to actually say those words, like, I'm just out here enjoying life, that was everything to me. I was like, yes, that's amazing. The fact that I could inspire that, I think it's incredible. You know, so we talked for like 30 minutes probably, and I did tell him, just like I'm telling you guys, that yeah, it's been a little bit since I posted my last video, and it's just because, you know, this hate's taken a toll on me, and I needed to regroup and get that drive back. He was very like understanding. He was like, you know, as long as you're doing what you're doing out of love, then none of that stuff matters. And he's so true. Like, that's what I have to stay focused on, is just doing me, just to continue doing me.
Doing it out of love or doing it out of greed for money? I'm going to go with greed for money because she got that taste. She doesn't want it to go away. So she's continuing to hang on by a thread and just exploit all the way to the bank until her luck runs out, and then she will run away from the internet, just like she has run away from subscribers that are asking legitimate questions.
To continue doing what I started and being authentic to myself and just completely ignoring the naysayers. That's what I have to keep doing. Just that conversation with him inspired me to keep going. I don't know if I should say his name. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if that's going to be okay with him, but you know who you are. And I just wanted to give you a shout out because you truly did inspire me, and I'm so glad that I met you. It meant a lot to me, and your uplifted spirit, like your positivity and your uplifted spirit and your plan for your life is just incredible. And I just want you to know that. And I want you to continue to live out those dreams.
She's such a con artist. It almost makes me nauseous how much it's just this really disingenuous energy that she gives off, and that combined with what I believe is a pathological liar who cannot stop lying and cannot own up to anything just really pisses me off. These are people that I don't want to say I hate, but as far as being someone that I would connect with in real life or anything like that, like, no, stay away from me. Keep your energy over there. You make me sick to my stomach. Stay out of my life.
And I want you to know that you can do it. And I cannot wait to hear and see about your story. I hope that you end up making a YouTube channel about your van life. I think that would be so cool, and I would love to watch it. It's funny is that we actually got to talking about like parking in this area. So he gave me a tip. He actually, I told him that where I was normally parking just kind of got shut down for overnight parking. And so I'm like at my last resort right now. So he told me where he's been sleeping, and I actually know the place very well. And I had no idea that they weren't enforcing no parking there. So I'm probably going to check it out. So thank you very much for that tip. I've been hanging out in Ventura County just because it's cooler. I can't do LA right now in my car in this heat. I feel like I would just be running my AC all day every day, and yeah, I want to be where it's kind of cooler right now. And I think it's going to start cooling off. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So yeah, once it starts cooling off, I'm going to go back to LA, which I actually have to go back to LA very soon anyways, because I have something coming up. I don't know if I could share it yet because it's not set in stone. I actually will be talking to this person about this upcoming thing. I'm going to be talking to them today about it and get more information. Oh, and to give you guys like a little more of an update, I know that I kind of gave you an update before, letting you know that I was meeting a YouTube producer who was wanting to be my manager.
A producer, an editor, whatever. I just don't even know. No, I don't think that that person ever existed. I think that that was just another weird storyline that she came up with in order to get people, interested. I don't really know if anyone got interested based off that alone. But secondly, even if that person was in the equation, no YouTube manager is going to want to put their hands on this right now. And that's just my opinion. Maybe it's completely incorrect, but with all of the controversy, questions, legal documents, just bad energy that is surrounding her entire YouTube presence, nobody is going to want to manage that, because you can't manage someone who denies facts and runs from questions and doesn't interact with subscribers. She wants to pay attention to the quote haters, aka people asking questions, but she won't even talk to the few subscribers she has left that are leaving her positive comments. She stays out of her comments. People that manage YouTubers, it's usually a YouTuber that's up and coming, that has a decent presence online, interacts with their subscribers, and has some potential to stay on the trajectory that they're on. And I don't see that with Ari. She got very lucky and the luck ran out. And since then, she's been running from the truth and just calling everyone negative trolls. And she's going to pray for us. Hallelujah. I don't need your prayers.
It's meant to be kind of raw and unpredictable and not so perfect, I guess you could say. I mean, the guy's very cool, like a very sweet person. I intend to keep in contact with him just as a friend, just to have somebody to know in the LA area. He actually too is a Bob Marley fan, which is way cool. Like in his office, he had a big Bob Marley poster, and I was like, we're gonna get along.
We're gonna get along. I don't believe any of this. I think it's all BS lies. I don't want to be a broken record, but in between her being fake, being phony, lying, clickbaiting, not owning up to questions, she is just bad all around. And the icing on the cake for me is the fact that she wants to pray for everybody. You might just want to pray for yourself right now, because Ari or Ronnie, you're if your channel was a train, it's getting kind of close to a cliff where it is literally just going to crash and burn. And I think that there have been plenty of opportunities for you to save it. You've chosen not to, and just say that everyone is sending negativity and toxicity your way. And people on YouTube have seen that argument from far too many YouTubers to fall into the trap that you're setting. Some people might, but most are just laughing at you at this point.
It's because I always lose my train of thought. giving you guys the update. Okay. I just shut my car off. Does that make a difference? Is there less noise? Okay. What else? I did get an offer to audition for a role for an
Oh, another audition.
upcoming. Oh, is it a series? I think it's a series. Maybe it's a movie. I think it's a series. First things first. The one thing I was talking about is kind of like my first step. The thing that I'm going to be talking to the person about today. Squid Games. I'm still on the fence about Squid Games. I really don't know what I want to do there. I talked to the lady over the phone. It is legit, by the way. I was sent the application and I was told to just go ahead and fill it out. And once I send that in, then I would be put on a list of the people that they're casting. Whenever I talked to her on the phone, she told me it's going to be like 2 months shooting in the UK. Now, I don't have a passport, and I'm sure that they'll take care of that, because I'm sure that I wouldn't be the only cast member without a passport, because the cast is actually people from all over. Like, you have to speak English, but the people are like from all over the world. So I'm sure that they'll take care of that, or help the cast members get everything that they need. But the whole being in the UK for 2 months, that's a big decision to make, and I need to make sure that it's right. And I honestly don't know yet. I told you guys I'm not going to make like any decisions based off my own understanding. I'm going to make sure that I pray about it, and I'm 100% confident and sure that that is the right move I need to make. And that's such a big decision to make that I don't feel comfortable yet saying yes or no. So we'll see. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on that one for sure.
All right, so enough with her nonsense BS. Let's read a couple of the comments before she deletes them. You brought the negativity on yourself with all of your lies. Your ass needs to be locked up for harming your son when he was a newborn. Nobody has your email, grifter. Speak your truth. You mean your lies. You told your subscribers that you were going to tell us about your son in another video when you had time. You had time one-on-one to talk about him. You haven't mentioned anything about him, and we are still waiting. We don't care if you quit. Most hope that you do, since you stole from them. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Insane how she's 32 and acting 16. You're the liar, scammer. Pray for yourself. The best part is watching that fake smile and baby voice melt away. So funny, maybe you losing train of thought so much is due to all the weed that you smoke. Just saying. Jealousy, it's too bad in some people's hearts. Y'all know how I feel about the jealous thing. I'm not even going to go into that right now. But just to finish out my thoughts on this, Ari's channel is extremely boring. Aside from watching her kind of flail and try to deflect and run from questions, it is not entertaining to me. And I'm not saying that that is or should be for everybody, but it's just not entertaining. She is not like bringing people throughout her day. She's not doing vlogs. Like, sometimes she'll take a little clip of her walking somewhere, but like, what do you do all day? And if you're going to start to use your time for good, then that should be part of content, obviously within reason, because I know within a lot of shelters, they don't allow you to film, but she could still film a lot throughout her day and put together a decent vlog. It just seems like it's constantly talking about the haters, even though she doesn't watch any haters videos, even though, you know, she'll come back around and talk about something that a quote hater suggested. So it's just hypocrisy, lies, nonsense, and a really phony, fake, over-the-top, childlike voice that is appealing to a select few of her audience. But for most of us, you know, we're looking at this and just throwing our hands up. I'm covering it because I have a commentary channel, but if I didn't have a channel, I would not be listening to her lie her ass off and continue to exploit #homeless. I think it's disgusting. I think she's entitled, and I think that she has tried to create this lifestyle for herself, and all that it's done is make her look like a complete money-hungry, lying fool who cannot take any accountability for her past when it was exposed through official court documents. So that's going to be it for now? Sound off in the comments below, but I can't wait to hear from you guys. We'll see where it goes, but for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.